Hey friends, welcome to another Wolverine live stream. I just wanted to pop on here because I am in the process of editing a few videos that I'm too lazy to finish right now. So I figured I would do a live stream so that you guys don't feel neglected. Excuse me if you hear some pinging in the background. It's just my email. Yeah, just learning how to work my new computer still. So a lot of you might know that I recently went on a road trip to Mesa Verde National Park with my family. And that was wonderful, except that we had some trouble with the hotel and their ADA compliance. It was a huge fiasco. So let me start off by saying it was a wonderful trip. I can't wait to tell you all about it, but I feel like it's important to note these things because it pertains directly to the ADA community. And I think it's important that if you use a wheelchair or mobility aids that you are made aware of this sort of thing. It's actually really unfortunate because in my wheelchair group on Facebook, I hear ladies complaining about this all the time. I'd never had this experience before now because I'm pretty new as a wheelchair user. But we went to Mesa Verde National Park, and there is a hotel called the Farview Lodge that is in the park. I'm going to crochet while I talk to you guys. I'm going to show you this in a minute too. So the hotel that's in the park, I called 3 weeks in advance and made a reservation. I specifically asked for an ADA room, which is an accessible room. For those of you that don't know what ADA stands for, it stands for the Adults with Disabilities Act. And it basically sets like a list of guidelines for buildings to be ADA compliant so that people who use wheelchairs can get in and out. So I made my reservation about 3 weeks in advance, and I asked for a double ADA room. So an ADA room with 2 beds. Now, I called to make sure that they had this available for me. And I was assured by the lady who worked at the front desk that, yes, absolutely, we will put that on your reservation. We'll make sure that your service dog is able to come and that you have enough beds for everyone. So we get there after driving 8.5 hours. Now, it's not an 8.5 hour drive, but when you have 2 kids and a disabled person and a dog, you have to stop along the way to use the restroom, stretch your legs, yada, yada. So it took us 8.5 hours to get there. We get there and they're like, oh, sorry, we gave your room away. Okay. I had paid a deposit, a large deposit to reserve this room. They said, we have this room. It's not ADA. It has 2 beds. Hopefully this will work for you until tomorrow. The other option we had was to turn around and drive 8.5 hours home. So we made it work. Luckily, I'm ambulatory, but I will tell you that if I had been a paraplegic or if I had been a somebody with like muscular dystrophy that couldn't walk while I wasn't under my own control, luckily I had my crutches and I was able to get into the room okay. But if I had any of those more severe forms of like paralysis or cerebral palsy or anything where I wasn't able to move under my own accord with crutches, there's no way. When my husband can't carry me, I'm bigger than he is, and there's just no way I wouldn't have been able to get into the room. So just a heads up. So the next day now we're only here for 3 nights. And the next day I spent the first half of the day sorting out this hotel situation. And what we finally got accommodated with was a single ADA room, because apparently double ADA rooms do not exist at this particular hotel. They don't have an ADA room with more than 1 bed in it. They just had a king ADA room, and then they gave us 2 rollaway beds for my kids. So with the rollaway beds in the ADA room, it renders the room no longer ADA. I could not use my wheelchair to get around the room because there's 2 rollaway beds in the middle of the floor. So I was able to get in and out of the hotel room, however, when the beds were folded up. So it was somewhat of an improvement. And the hotel did actually comp us for 2 of the 3 nights that we were staying there because of all the trouble that it caused. And I mean, I made a noise about it. I was crying on the phone with the receptionist. I was like, you guys told me you had this room. I was so upset. It was so dehumanizing. And I was like, if I was a paraplegic, I would have to have somebody carry me in. There's no way I would be able to get into this room. And I specifically went to this hotel because their listing said ADA rooms available and pets available. Although I have a service dog, so she's allowed to go anywhere. But it was a nightmare dealing with the hotel. I will say the staff was very friendly and they worked very hard to make it right, but there's no excuse. There's no excuse. I made my reservation 3 weeks in advance. I called 2 days before we got there. I called again the day before we got there. And I was assured over and over again that it was going to be fine, that they had everything that we needed and yada, yada. And they just didn't. It was a mess. It was a cluster. So we missed out on the first half of our day exploring the park. Now, again, they comped us 2 nights. So I feel like, okay, that's fine, whatever. After we got it all sorted, I will say that our vacation was pretty awesome. If you've never been, I highly recommend going to Mesa Verde National Park here in Colorado. It is in the southwest corner of the state, all the way down by the Four Corners region. And it is in the middle of, it's in between the Navajo, the Ute, and the Apache reservations. So it's a place full of culture. I mean, there's so much. You can buy beautiful handmade jewelry from the Navajo people, and different like handmade drums by the Ute and the Apache. I mean, there's some really cool things down there. I didn't buy any of those because I decided to make my own souvenir, and we were a little tight on money for this trip. And it was a homeschool field trip. So my kids both got stuffed animals as their souvenirs, and they're very happy with those. And I decided to make myself a souvenir. So I started this shawl at Mesa Verde National Park. The first day that we got there, or I guess the second day after we got the hotel sorted, I started this shawl. And so far I'm loving it. I'll show you the pattern. I have it right here. This is a pattern by Expression Fiber Arts, and it's called the Boho Triangle Shawl. And here's a picture of the finished. This was a free pattern. So she does free pattern Fridays, which I think is awesome. And let me tell you, this is the easiest shawl I've ever made in my life. It's it calls for fingering weight yarn held double or a DK weight yarn. You need 400 or 800 yards, depending on what you're using. And it's literally, you do your starting loop and then it's treble crochets. So there's like 2 rows of treble crochet and then 1 row of treble crochet, chain treble crochet. It's so easy. I love it. And I'm going to be putting fringe on it that has beads. Sorry, it's so swingy. So like beaded fringe on it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I actually got a message from my friend Lady Bird. Shout out to Lady Bird. Lady Bird Loves here on YouTube. Freaking love that lady. She is doing a challenge that happens to be crocheting with beads. So if you haven't checked that out and entered, definitely go over there. I'm not affiliated with Lady Bird other than I love her. I think she's wonderful. She's been super supportive of me since I started my YouTube journey. So I just love that girl. Anyway, so that's what I did for my souvenir from Mesa Verde. I know I'm not saying it right, which is funny because I'm married to somebody whose first language was Spanish, so you'd think I'd be better at it. I'm not. I'm not very good at it. I'm still learning. I do understand a lot more Spanish than I can speak, and my accents are never going to be right because my ancestors were German, so it's a little bit of a different epiglottal movement. But what did I love about the trip? You guys, I'm going to be posting a video soon, and it's not actually of the park. It's of the drive. I felt like on the way to Mesa Verde was beautiful. It was absolutely breathtaking. It was gorgeous. I loved it. It was beautiful. But on the way back, there is so much untouched, pristine, non-inhabited land that you really get a sense for how beautiful the world is. And it is so big. Like, it makes you feel small like the ocean. I mean, it's just, I can't wait for you guys to see it. I'm going to post that probably tomorrow. I'm still working on a few things. My husband's going to record some music for it. And I'm thinking what I might do is sort of like how I did the Rocky Mountain National Arsenal thing, Wildlife Refuge. I might do it like that, where I put encouraging words in the video and just have it be like a beautiful drive and then some affirmations or something. But yeah, I had so much fun, and my kids really discovered the magic of Mesa Verde. I mean, they had a blast. It's the first time since the pandemic that we've really gone anywhere, and they were able to run around outside and, you know, be crazy kids. But they also were so interested in learning, because we watched a video on the Anasazi people before we went down. And so when my kids realized that we were in the same place as the video, they got really excited, and we got to see, you know, the pit houses and different archaeological sites, and they loved it. They ate it up. It was awesome. And nobody got sunburned, which is saying a lot, because somebody always gets sunburned on our trips. So yeah, and I will say that the national parks, they are doing a great job of keeping everybody safe. They had a couple of gift shops and cafes open, but everybody has to wear a mask, and they have plenty of space to eat outside. And I really felt safe there. I didn't feel at all at risk of anything. Like, they were so careful about it. So yeah, I'd highly recommend it. I think we might go back next year because the kids loved it so much. But I don't know. I kind of want to do a national parks tour now. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. But I will say also, my soul needed that. Like, I don't talk about it a whole bunch on here, because I know I have a lot of people on my YouTube that might not see eye to eye with me as far as spirituality goes, but I do deal with a lot of other people's energy. Let's just put it that way. And for the first time in probably 2 or 3 years, I actually felt like my soul got to rest while I was there. It was beautiful. I just got to sit out underneath the trees. Like, there was a couple places that weren't accessible, so my kids and my husband went and hiked, and I just sat there and enjoyed the nature. And it was so quiet and just so beautiful. And like, all you could hear was birds singing, and the sky was so blue, and, you know, the trees were just gently swaying in the breeze. And it's almost like you could feel the ancestors there with you, just welcoming you and holding you. And I felt so at home and so at peace. And I haven't felt that way in such a long time, that it really was overwhelming to me. There was one point when we were in the mountains on the way to Mesa Verde. And I mean, I grew up in the mountains. My grandpa and I used to drive through there all the time. Like, almost every day I went for a drive in the mountains with my grandpa. But we were driving through, I want to say we were driving through Wolf Creek Pass or somewhere like that. And it might have been Bailey. In any case, I was just completely overwhelmed, because it was like an ocean of trees, and they were all so big, and just, it was so quiet and so beautiful. And I literally got like choked up. I started to cry a little bit, because it was so spiritual. It was such a deep experience of just gratitude. And sorry, I haven't really felt that way since I got sick. It's been a really long time since I've just been completely humbled by the beauty of nature. So to be out in, you know, we were still on the road, we were still on the highway. It wasn't even like we were out of town. But to be so completely overwhelmed and so completely humbled and just in awe of how beautiful it was and how small I was, like, I needed that so bad. That was such good medicine for my soul. And like, the whole trip was just great. There was a few parts where I was like nervous, because I don't really like heights, and Mesa Verde is a lot of cliffs. So, you know, that part was a little scary, but other than that, it was refreshing. I needed that. So if you haven't gone outside recently and you're able, I highly recommend to just get out of town for a little while, go somewhere where there's nature and not people, and reconnect with the earth. Because since the beginning of this pandemic, I know a lot of us have just been stuck inside, and especially those of us that are in the higher risk categories. Now, I'm not saying don't be careful. I am fully vaccinated, so I'm still very careful. I still wear my mask everywhere. But I finally feel safe enough to like go to the grocery store, which I hadn't done in like a year, like legit a year. I haven't been in the grocery store. So to be out, sorry, I'm trying to crochet and talk at the same time. To be out in nature, to be surrounded with so many beautiful things, so many beautiful trees, and then also to just connect to the spirit of the people that lived in that valley where Mesa Verde is now, is beautiful. It's humbling. I just feel better than I have in a really long time. Like I haven't I don't typically let myself get super depressed about my illness, but now that we're back in town, like tomorrow I have an appointment with an ortho, and I just don't want to. You guys, like, I don't want to see any more doctors. I don't want to go to more appointments. I don't want to schedule specialists and get referrals and have to research my doctors and hope for the best. And May is Ehlers-Danlos and Hypermobility Spectrum Disorder Awareness Month. So if you're not aware, I have Ehlers-Danlos. It is a genetic, incurable, untreatable connective tissue disorder, which makes me very bendy and very unstable. So I suffer from a lot of dislocations and severe joint pain, muscle pain, fibromyalgia, all these other wonderful things. So yeah, tomorrow I have to go to a doctor's appointment, and it just kind of feels like back into the fray. It's like a full-time job you don't get paid for, you know, because I don't even get much relief from a lot of these doctors. Like this ortho, I'm not going to for treatment. I'm going because we need imaging of my joints to see how bad the damage is. Like that's the premise of this appointment, which is depressing, right? Like it's like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. That sucks. I want to go to the yarn shop, you know? I don't want to go to the freaking ortho. But I'm hoping that the pain is worse than the damage, you know, like that most of it isn't actual joint damage. Because for 34 years now, I've been living with this disease. I've been running. I used to run with this disease. And so I haven't had imaging done since I was like 21, I think. So it's been 13 years since I had proper imaging of my spine, and I had arthritis then. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's kind of hard to like come back from such a beautiful place and then have to go right into the fray of doctor's appointments and specialists and referrals and all that nonsense. Oh, hi, Jane. Hi, Jane. Sorry, I didn't see that you came in because, again, YouTube does not like me to have my chat open. There. Now I can't see the video, so if I'm making a weird face, just, you know, deal with it. Anyway, how are you, Jane? I can't wait to see those zebras. I think you're the only one here. Let's see. Oh, yep, just you and me, Jane. If you're still here. Unless that's somebody else now. Oh, now there's two people. Who else is here? Say hello. I'm trying to figure out this. I don't know why, but if I don't pop out the chat for YouTube lives, it doesn't show up. So I have to pop it out, and then I can't see my videos. So I just have to hope that I don't have like lettuce in my teeth or like a booger hanging out of my nose or some horrible thing. But yeah, we just got back. Let's see, we stayed until Thursday. And then my son went to his dad's on Friday, and he just got back today. So yeah, it's mostly just been resting this weekend and trying to get together my videos and stuff and get those posted. I am working on dandelion syrup, but it's just soaking in the fridge right now, so it's not super exciting. My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law were sweet enough to go and pick dandelions for me to make dandy syrup, which I do every year. So I'm glad that I won't have to miss out on doing it this year. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't have much going on until next month. And that might not happen, actually. So I'm supposed to go to South Dakota for Sundance this summer. And if you're not aware of this, if you do ceremony in Lakota ceremonies and you're a woman, if you're on your moon time or your monthly time, you aren't supposed to be there because you're considered too sacred to be there. So yeah, so I might not end up being there because my calendar says that's what that week is. So we'll see. Pray for me to be able to go. But, you know, I guess if I'm not supposed to go, I'm not supposed to go. So it's no biggie. Yeah, I call it my moon time. Okay. Sorry, anybody that's offended by that. It's my moon time. So that's, you know, it looks like it might coincide, but you're not supposed to be there at any ceremony in the Lakota tradition if you are a woman on your moon time because you are too powerful, is how they say it. Hi, Deanne. How are you? I'm sorry you just walked into this talk about Moontime. Like, that's not awkward. Of course, it would be me talking about... At least we're all ladies here. I mean, I don't know that I have any male follower. Maybe I do. I don't know. I don't know. How are you, Deanne? How are you, Jane? You're waiting on that info for what, Jane? What info? Was I supposed to give you info? Because honestly, I don't remember. I don't know what info I'm supposed to give you. Just remind me, and then I'll try to remember. I'm sorry. My brain is not doing so well. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys know what mast cell activation syndrome is, but like the second day of our trip, I started having a huge mast cell flare. So my brains are mush right now. I have been taking so many antihistamines. The skin on the back of my hands was like literally peeling off. It was so bad. You sent over Messenger. Did you already send it? Did I respond? I have no idea what's going on. I'm sorry, Jane. I'm a mess. Let's see. Now I got to look for you. So I get a lot of people that messages me on Messenger. You having a rough day, Deanne? What's going on, hon? If you don't mind saying. Otherwise, I'll just pray for you without knowing. It's fine. I don't want to pressure you. Let's see, Jane. All right. Well, I will. Oh, a photo of the tea. I don't have a tea package. I made that one just for you, Lev. I'll look through it later, Jane. Sorry. What do you get when you get two people with brain fog together? A lot of missed opportunities. Get it? Brain fog, missed. I'm tired, y'all. Well, I hope you're all right, Deanne. I'm sorry you're having a rough day. Is it health stuff, or is there anything that I can pray for you for? Oh, stomach issues are the worst. I have mild gastroparesis, so like I understand stomach issues. Just a lot of dense fog. Exactly, Jane. You get nothing but dense fog. That is right. No, so like I was saying, I guess because Mesa Verde is a lot different than where I'm at in Aurora, my system just reacted poorly. And so I was in bed by 8 every day that we were there. And I still haven't recovered. I'm still flaky and itchy. I've been itchy so bad. And like, I've had a runny nose. It's like allergies, but on crack. It's just mast cell stuff. You started morphine. I'm actually allergic to morphine. I can't take it. They gave it to me once at the emergency room and my veins started to swell. And the nurse was like, I have never seen that in my life. So I have a true morphine allergy, although I can't take other opiates. I don't know what that's about, but I can't take morphine. Is it helping at least? I will pray for that, Deanne. Absolutely. You might want to look up gastroparesis and see if that fits, because that's something that they like never check. I don't know what your symptoms are, but if it's you can't eat and you throw up a lot and you're losing weight without trying, sometimes that's gastroparesis. I mean, I never had a doctor figure out what was wrong with me. I had doctor after doctor let me down, and then I did a lot of research on the internet, and I did get lucky because finally there was a doctor who saw me who happened to be married to somebody with EDS. And she's like, I think you have hypermobility. So I got lucky. That's what happened. Although I don't know how lucky it is, because now I have a really good primary care doctor, but there's no treatment for this disease. So it's like I see a lot of doctors and I don't get any kind of results or treatment, or I get management strategies. You just get high. I'm sorry for laughing at that, but like so they give me painkillers. They give me Norco, which isn't super strong. It's 5 milligrams. It's like hardly anything. And I take that when I just don't want to care anymore, because it doesn't get rid of the pain. It just makes you not care about it as much, which I'm fine with. You know, occasionally you just need that. You need to camouflage the pain for a little while. Yeah, I don't like the way opiates make me feel, though. They're kind of queasy and like lethargic and foggy. I don't know. Not really a fan, but I have had a lot of luck. Oh, Jane, And Deanne, if you're interested, it's going to be a few weeks because I have to order some containers, but I'm making some sample kits for my pain group, and it's going to have that mandarin oil that I sent you, Jane, and then it'll also have some badass balm, like a little bitty tin of it. And then I'm going to do the CBD oil that I made. It's a hemp-based, so there's no THC, hemp-based CBD oil in olive oil. And if you guys are interested, just send me, I'll put it in my email in the description box once this is no longer a live video. And if you guys want a sample, just send me your addresses and I'll send them out. It'll be a couple weeks though, like I said, if not a few months because my brain fog. But I am making sample kits for my pain group. And this offer is only open, sorry guys, this offer is only open to Jane and Deanne because they're here. Anybody that's watching this later, if you're interested, go ahead and message me. But it'll be a tiny little badass balm, like I don't have one over here, but like this big, like the size of a quarter. It's like a lip balm tin, just so you can try it. But yeah, I'm making them for my pain support group. My plan is to be like a crack dealer where I give them a little taste of it and they're like, oh, this is great stuff. And then they want to buy it from me forever. It does help though. A bad little ass balm. Yeah. It'll be, I want to say that they're like, they're not even a quarter ounce. They're like 5 milliliters or something, but that's enough for a couple of joints. Yeah. So I'll, actually here, I'll put my email here so you guys can see it. I'm sorry if this typing is really loud because my microphone is right next to my keyboard. Send me an email with your address, your shipping address, or your P.O. box, or wherever you get your mail. And like I said, it'll probably be a few weeks at least. But when I do make them for my pain group, then, you know, you guys will get them too. Deanne, you're in the U.S., right? I know Jane's in the U.S., but are you in the U.S., Deanne? Because I can't do international shipping. Like I can, but I can't afford to pay for international shipping. So I'd have to have, you know, you guys pay for international shipping. But yeah, that's something I'm already doing it anyway, so I might as well send it to you. So Deanne, what is going to be in there? The mandarin essential oils to help you sleep. And you basically just rub it on your feet before bed and it helps you sleep. And then the badass balm is a pain relieving balm that you put on like your joints or sore muscles, wherever you have pain. And then it'll have a little dropper of CBD oil, which is also for pain, for anxiety, for insomnia. It works great for all those things. And it'll be enough for like 1 or 2 doses. Like it's not going to be a whole bunch, but it's just so you can try it. And then if you want more, you just let me know. Because I'm not trying to get rich off, you know, I'm really not. I just want to help people, but I also, you know, oh, perfect, Indiana. Wait, are you one of Karen's friends, Deanne? I feel like she knows everybody in Indiana, I swear. If you don't know who I'm talking about, then never mind. But I have a friend, Karen, who is on my Facebook group, the Yarn Pal Sanctuary, and she seems to know everybody that lives in Indiana. Every time I meet somebody from Indiana, I'm like, oh, are you a friend of Karen's? I'm like, yes, I am. She's lovable. Anyway, have you guys done anything interesting lately? Any good news besides the morphine there, Jane? I mean, I'm glad that they gave you something for the pain. Oh, I discovered oxygen. This is just like a little can of oxygen. Here, I'll show you guys how it works. So it's called Boost Oxygen. It's pink grapefruit flavor. It doesn't really taste like that. And so you put it, I'm just going to do it. You put it on your mouth like this, and then you pull the trigger and you breathe in through your mouth. And people use it for like altitude sickness, but I'm finding it helps a lot with my pain and my pain tolerance, like, and my energy levels. So I take a couple hits of this first thing in the morning and it really, really helps. Just another tool in the pain toolbox. Oh, you got bad news. I'm so sorry to hear that, Deanne. I hope it wasn't something horrible. I mean, you're welcome to talk about it if you need to. You know, I'm willing to listen. I think this is actually the first week in a while that I haven't gotten Really bad news. You know what, Jane? They actually had this for $11 at Mesa Verde National Park. So my husband bought me like 3 of them. I've already gone through one. It's, sometimes it changes my voice too. It's kind of funny. It's 95% oxygen. It makes a huge difference. Like it really does help, especially I've noticed with the nerve pain and the fatigue and the brain fog. It kind of dries everything out though, so that's kind of obnoxious. I had to get some saline nasal spray to cope with it. Oh, my chat is jumping all around. One moment. Oh, another lawyer. You know what, Deanne? Just stick with it. Stick with it, because I have been denied by disability twice. I'm in the process. I'm like in the 3rd go now. So I'm in reconsideration again. Yeah, it's really hard. And honestly, I have had a lawyer before and found out that they did not submit even a quarter of my paperwork to disability. So I would say don't give up. If you got denied, don't give up. Just keep going. Keep trying. There's a site called How to Get On. I think it's .org. Let me find my phone here. I have a website for you, Deanne, that'll help. Let me look it up really quick. It's called How to Get On. All right, I'm going to type it. How to Get On. And it changes. .wordpress.com. Check out that website, because they literally have a million tips on how to get on disability, how to live on disability. I think if you just Google how to get on WordPress, it'll come up. But the girl who runs it, you know, she's been through it. So there's a section, I'll just give you an example. There's a section for how to have a great disabled life. Then there's applying for disability, living on disability, applying for homemates. I mean, it's just, you know, it's a lot. And then she even has like sections for if you get denied for disability, what to do, what kind of proof to bring, improve your chances. Yeah, I mean, there's literally, she covers everything. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of time, but I think that because of that website, I didn't get denied flat out. I got a reconsideration. So I'm in that process now. I know it's so exhausting and disheartening and dehumanizing to have to prove how sick you are when you're sick, because you don't have the energy to do it. So it's like a full-time job you don't get paid for. You don't even get minimum wage when you get on disability. So it's ridiculous. Let's see. You got bad news too, Jane? You cried so much last week and you're just getting less overwhelmed, accepting defeat. Well, I wouldn't say accept defeat. I would say just accept where you are right now and understand that, you know, sometimes it takes a change in perspective. Because I was kind of getting down on myself for being sick too. And then we went on this trip and I just remembered how beautiful life can be. So you can have a great life disabled. It's hard work sometimes to get there, but you can. Yeah, you're welcome, Deanne. I hope that they help. I mean, they've helped me a ton. They've also helped me realize that everybody gets denied at least once. And of course, I thought it wouldn't happen to me, but it did. So now that I'm in the reconsideration phase, I have literally submitted 6 different letters from 6 different professional doctors saying that I'm disabled, that I should get on disability. And I still have to fill out function reports and all these other things. Like, the people in charge of determining whether or not you're disabled are jerks. They're inhumane pricks. Like, I'm sorry, it's true. They are. They don't care. They don't care at all. It's their job to find reasons why not to give you disability. Hopefully that'll change. But as of right now, it's run by a bunch of bureaucratic jerkwads. Excuse my language. It's horrible, though. I got this sample of like a vitamin B drink, and it's like Kool-Aid with liquid vitamins mixed in. It's so gross, but it seems to be helping. So yeah, I got denied when I was 19, and then because I had been in a car wreck, I didn't know I had EDS at that point. And then I got denied last year, and I'm in the reconsideration phase. So I applied immediately for reconsideration. And now, I think just like 2 days before we left on our trip, I had to submit a adult function report, and I had my husband fill one out too. So between those two things, and then the six doctor's letters from 6 different doctors with 6 different specialties, I'm hoping will be enough for these jerkwads to say, yeah, okay. Sorry, I got a message. Anywho, I'm hoping I don't have to go to court. Like, I feel like it's completely unfair because the people applying for disability that are genuinely disabled, that are genuinely sick, we don't have the energy for the application process for disability. It's exhausting. It's ridiculous. It's unfair. This last lawyer was supposed to be filing to get a court hearing, and they said they didn't receive it, so they closed the case. Oh my God. I had the same experience when I had a disability lawyer, Deanne. I had the exact same experience. I'm having a much better experience now that I've applied myself. So definitely check out that website and then apply yourself, because lawyers, they really don't care. They just want, they want the $6,000 or whatever that they can get on the back end if you get approved. And if it's not readily apparent, they really don't work that hard, because they don't get paid until you get approved. So if they think your chances aren't good, they do very little work, which is unfortunate. I don't think there's anyone in that whole system that really gives a crap about the patient. I really just don't. The experience is so humiliating. It's humiliating. Like there's no humane part of that process. Like, oh, you're sick? Well, prove it. Okay. But yeah, I will pray that you get on disability. I will pray that you get a reconsideration, and that you might have to start a new application, and that's okay. My advice to you would be gather all of your medical records, everything you've got. Go through the disability handbook and look at the different diagnoses they have, qualifying conditions. Make a list of the ones that fit you, and then when you apply, make sure you put those in the application, because they have literally a formula that if you don't fit into this box, you're not disabled. So you have to find your way into that box. So you have to do all the work and then turn it in, and then maybe if you're lucky, get approved for less than minimum wage. It's not even a living wage. It's ridiculous. I know how hard that is. It is so disheartening to get that denial letter, or to find out that it's been closed, and there's no remedy for it, because the remedy is to get on disability. And when you get those letters, it's you have to start all over again. And it's years. I've been trying to get on disability now for, not counting the first time I tried to get on disability, this time has been almost 2 years already. Hi, Paula. Yeah. Paula, I think they do that everywhere. It's just government bureaucracy trying to save a few pennies, I guess. But yeah, they do make it incredibly hard to get on disability here in the United States as well. It's inhumane. It's uncool, man. Scientific terms, it's uncool, man. But yeah, they just, keep your chin up, Deanne. I know, it's so, my heart truly goes out to you, because the amount of frustration and just hopelessness that I have felt over this process of getting on disability, or trying to get on disability. 3 years. It's been 2 years this time. So I actually applied before, and it was a 2-year process, and I finally just gave up. I gave up. And then my health just kind of got gradually worse. And now I am completely disabled. I have a wheelchair, And even with my wheelchair, I can only sit in it for like 5-10 minutes at a time before my tailbone dislocates. Like, I'm in bad shape and I still have to prove that I'm sick. It's bull. It is bull. Let's see. All you had to do was not be well dressed, not look like a hobo. No shoelaces, no buttons, service dog role leader, etc. I mean, yeah, I hear when you show up at court, if you look disabled, that you almost automatically get approved. It's like they just want to see you. I mean, I have my wheelchair and my service dog. I could roll into court if they would give me a court date, but instead I have to go through this whole reconsideration process, which I'm hopeful about because I did turn in literally 6 different medical professional letters signed by medical professionals saying she's disabled. Please give her the measly amount of money that you give to disabled people. Because it's very little, isn't it? It's never like, first of all, if you were going to defraud a system, why would you choose disability? Because it is one of the hardest things to get on. You would literally be like dedicating years of your life to get less than minimum wage just to defraud the system. I mean, I know it happens. I'm aware that this happens. But seriously, there are easier ways to get rich, right? No, it doesn't get any easier. So I'm really lucky, Jana. I'm still on Medicaid, and I'm hoping that I can keep it that way because they cover a lot more than Medicare does. I am terrified of being on Medicare because I know I wouldn't be able to get the kind of treatment that I need. I know that you've been struggling for a long time now to try and get the treatment that you need on Medicare, and I'm sorry. I know we were going to do a GoFundMe. If you still want to do that, we can still do that. Again, I'm sorry about the brain fog. I forget everything. I couldn't tell you what I had for breakfast this morning. I do know it involved coffee because it always involves coffee. That's about the only thing I'm sure of, is that there was coffee. Otherwise, my husband would probably be leaving me. But anyway, I'm really sorry that everybody's having such a hard time with disability. Like, what can we do, you know? I know, like I've met a lot of people that don't seem that, I mean, I'm not judging your disability based on your looks, but like I've seen people doing things that have shocked me that they're on disability. Let's see. Outside of uncontrollable anxiety I have now, I don't have much more to go on. Yeah, it's hard, Deanne. So you can actually get on disability based on your symptoms. So I would definitely go through the disability handbook and look at the different codes and find out what your symptoms qualify as, because you don't necessarily have to have a diagnosis to get on disability. And anxiety itself, if it's bad enough, it can be a disability. Yeah, I know you and I are so funny because it's like, I forget, you forget, we forget everything. It's just a bunch of dense fog. But yeah, don't give up. Like, that's as obnoxious as it is, as like, just don't let them win, you know, get angry about it. I believe that you can absolutely get on disability. It's just a lot of work. It's an incredible amount of work for not very much money. And you know, sometimes you have to like take a break from it. So like, if you got denied, you know, start gathering paperwork, but you don't necessarily have to do it all at once. Because that's not always an easy thing to get your hands on either, is all that medical paperwork. So I would say, you know, just when you have the energy and you feel up for it, maybe gather a few things, maybe fill out a few forms, and then when you're ready, submit it all at once. But make sure you keep a copy of everything, because you're going to have to submit it again once you finally get a determinator. So yeah. Yeah, there's no giving up. No giving up. This is the non-quitters club. But do allow yourself to feel your feelings. Like, I get it. It is so freaking frustrating. It is enraging. And it's disheartening and dehumanizing and humiliating. And like, there's so many feelings that come up from that denial. Let yourself feel that, you know, and then get mad and just decide that you're going to keep trying until they finally say yes, because that seems to be the way to get on disability. And you just can't quit. I am really sorry to hear that your lawyer, somebody who's supposed to advocate for you, let you down so hard. I would definitely leave them a very bad Yelp review. Just you're going to a therapist because you're disabled. I mourn my old me. Yeah, it is that. Oh my gosh, you hit the nail on the head, Jane. Like I feel like I've had a funeral for my old self because I used to be a runner. I used to be very active. I used to go hiking every day with my kids. And yeah, it is a grieving process. There's a lot of grief involved in being chronically ill. Absolutely. And especially when you're trying to find answers and they aren't coming. So even the doctor Social Security sent me to says there's something wrong. Yeah, you can actually request to see your own doctor, which I wish I had known because they sent me to one of their doctors and she looked at me for 5 minutes and then sent me on my way. But you can actually request to see your own doctor and screw the lawyers, do it yourself. I honestly have not had nearly as much bad luck as I did with a lawyer, like doing it myself. Because, we can get our own denials, right? Like, I think if my reconsideration doesn't get approved, I might get an attorney, but I'm not getting an attorney until the very last moment because, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually have like a funeral ceremony, but I definitely allowed myself to cry a lot, like a lot about my old self. It was, I mean, I still have days where I grieve my old self. Now I'm just trying to like discover new passions and find ways to enjoy life as a disabled person. And I don't really feel like a disabled person, but I am. And it becomes readily apparent when I do try to like work or, help people with stuff. And I just don't have the spoons for it, Yeah, I don't really work anymore. I make herbal stuff once in a while. Like once a month I do my subscription boxes on Etsy and that's about it. And the badass balm. Because I can't really work. And I have to have help with a lot of that. My husband's actually helping me with the dandelion syrup that I'm making. Yeah, I know how that goes, Deanne. I spend all my time in bed. It's so disheartening. Like, I forced myself to get up and do the things at Mesa Verde, but I'm definitely going to be recovering for a while. I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm still exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. But, the thing about it is just because we're disabled doesn't make us worth any less, and it doesn't make our lives any less precious, meaningful, beautiful, all of that. It is hard. It is very hard. And some days feel absolutely impossible, but this life is beautiful and it's absolutely worth living. And the disability process is freaking impossible. It's so difficult to deal with, but just don't give up. No matter how many times they say no, just keep coming back until they finally say yes. Be a nuisance, like bug them to the point where they're like, fine, take your $7.50 an hour or whatever. Because you need that money. You need that money because you're disabled and you can't work. I'm definitely hoping that applying for disability becomes easier. I have heard that there's some bills on the books that are supposed to make it easier for people to get on disability because it is so dehumanizing to have to prove yourself to be sick. But, we'll see. Politicians make a lot of promises and they don't usually follow through. So we'll see how that goes. But my advice would be just don't give up. Don't give up. Oh, wow. I have 5 people. Who else is here? And what is everybody doing? Did everybody already see my souvenir shawl? My family and I just got back from Mesa Verde National Park here in Colorado, and I decided to make myself a souvenir instead of buying one. So I'm making, let me see if I can, I know Deanne and Jane already saw it, and I'm sorry to everybody who's, not a part of the disabled community that might be annoyed by this conversation, but if you're not a part of the disabled community and you see something you know, that's not right, that goes against the disabled community, please speak up. Because for some reason, you know, they seem to listen better to people that aren't in wheelchairs. At the beginning of this video, I was talking about the hotel situation that we had at Mesa Verde. That was a nightmare. But this shawl is my souvenir shawl. I'm making it to commemorate our trip to Mesa Verde. The pattern is by Expression Fiber Arts. It's called the boho. I don't know if you help me. I got to click over to my video so I can see what I'm showing you guys. I know it's backwards. I'm sorry. The boho. Here's some pictures of it. So she has this really long fringe, and instead I'm going to make the shawl come down quite a bit farther, and then I'm going to add beads. I'm like so excited about this. I'm going to put beaded fringe. I haven't decided if I'm going to do like tassels or if I'm going to do them like individually. I don't know yet. But I just have these little silver beads. And I am, for those of you that don't know, Lady Bird Loves is having not a challenge, not a competition, a challenge to do crochet with beads. So go over to her channel and check that out. I actually happened to be working on this when I found out about the challenge, so I absolutely entered, and I'm really excited about it. I want to see what everybody made. So if you are a crocheter and you're interested in doing the Lady Bird Loves challenge, definitely head over there and check it out. She doesn't know I'm telling you this. I'm going to assume that she doesn't, that she'll watch this later and she'll find out. But my brain fog is so bad I can't remember who she was doing the video with. But her and another lady here on YouTube are doing this beaded crochet challenge. And they made these gorgeous ponchos that I totally have to make one now with beads. And they're beautiful. They both did different colors. And I just happen to have been working on something with beads already. So I'm modifying this pattern just by making it longer and then putting beads on the fringe, which has turned into a royal pain, by the way. Like getting the beads on the yarn is such a royal pain because these beads are tiny. Thanks, Deanne. Thanks, Paula. Yeah, I really love it so far. It's going to have, like I said, it's going to have, you know, the beaded fringe. But this is honestly the easiest shawl I've ever made. So the pattern starts out, you start with your starting loop here. And then the rows are just treble crochet with a chain one in between, and then 2 rows of treble crochet with increases at the end, and then treble crochet with a chain one in between. And then when you get to the center, it's 2 trebles, 3 chains, 2 trebles. So it's really super easy, and it was free. It was a free pattern. So and I think it's still free on her website. It's Expression Fiber Arts. And this lady, I don't remember her name. Sorry, guys, I'm so bad at names. Let me see. It probably says it on here somewhere. I know it says it on here somewhere. Chandy. That's her name. Chandy. Chandi. But so she does free pattern Fridays. So every Friday, Expression Fiber Arts has a new free crochet or knit pattern every week. She does a free one. And this was one of her free pattern Friday crochet patterns. And it's so easy, you guys. Like I'm using, I think I told you guys about this yarn already. It is Yarn Bee hand-dyed tonal in Lavender Dusk. It is a super fine one weight. It calls for a 3.25 millimeter hook, but I'm using a 6.5 millimeter hook because I want it really loose and lacy and drapey because it's a summer shawl. And it's gonna be great as a summer shawl. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this one because I don't have to think too much when I'm doing it, and I don't have to keep checking the pattern because it's literally just a 3-row repeat after the first couple rows. So let's see. Yeah, the beads are going to be, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I do, all right, so one option is to do like individual little clusters of maybe like 3 all the way across, or to do, you know, like a whatchamacallit. It's a technical term. What are they called, you guys? I can't remember. When you put a bunch of them to tassels. Tassels. So I'm not sure if I want to do like a bunch of them together like that, or if I want to do, you know, like individual ones kind of spread out. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, she's doing it with Ingretti and Turnpike. Yeah, so the Ladybird Loves is doing a challenge. It's a beaded crochet project. They did cute little ponchos that I really want the pattern for. And I think she shared, I can't remember if she shared the pattern or not. But the challenge is to create a crochet project with beads. So I'm just going to add beads to the, I probably could have added beads along the way, but I don't have a small enough crochet hook for the beads that I have. So I have to actually, what I've been doing is I've been threading them on my other cake of yarn. And I had like a lot on here. I was just threading them on, and then I was counting off 8 and then slicing the piece and counting off 8 and slicing the piece, because I have to do it with a regular needle and thread, or a needle, because I don't have a crochet hook small enough to actually add the beads on while crocheting. So I need to get like a, I don't know, like a 1 millimeter, something ridiculously small. I think the smallest one I have is, I want to say 2.5. It's either 2.5 or a 3. You think just a few? So like the beads are really light, Deanna. I know they look kind of heavy because they're plastic though. They're not actual metal. So they're actually really light. But I agree. I think individual. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Or maybe like, you know, just a few together. Not like a huge tassel, but like just maybe like 2. Because I like the way that the beads hang together. But I mean, I also like just 1. I did only do 4. So it's 4 beads on each end. So 8 beads altogether for each piece, because I didn't want it to get too heavy. But I have a whole handful of them here, and I got to tell you, they weigh hardly anything. And I'm hoping that they weigh enough to kind of keep the shawl hanging. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think you guys are right, Deanna, Paula. I think you're right. I think individual, maybe 1 or 2, but not more than that. My husband wanted me to do all of these on one because he really likes the way that they look. And I'm like, there's no way. That's insane. That would be a lot. And that would be a lot of beading to do as well. So yeah, I think 2. Okay, 2. Cool. Thank you guys. Because I've just been making, I'm not anywhere near putting the fringe on. I just, when I got bored of crocheting, I decided to thread some beads and kind of make the fringe and see how that would look. So I think 2 is good. Yeah. Let's see if I get 2. Yeah, because then it's, you know, like 4 strands of beads when you hang it. And it's not super long. I don't really like super long fringe on my, because then it tickles your arm and it feels like a spider's crawling on you. It drives me insane. So yeah, I think 2. I did intentionally make them kind of different lengths too, so that they would hang, you know, sort of staggered. I didn't want them all to be super uniform. So we'll see how it comes out. So far, I'm loving it, honestly. I don't usually like making shawls that much. I usually do prayer shawls for people when they're sick or grieving. But I've never made myself a shawl before. I did make a virus shawl in like bright red, like lipstick red or fire engine red. I don't know what shade of red it is. I'll have to find it and show it to you guys. I've never worn it. I might give it away. I don't know. It's really cute. I think it's adorable, but it's just not me. I like deep colors. Like the wheelchair and the headdress kind of already draw enough attention, so I don't need to be neon. You know, I don't need to be neon. I do, however, need to buy a shawl pin from my friend Allison. So her shop on Etsy is called Also Allison? Or no, it's Ethos Makes. Ethos Makes on Etsy. She makes these beautiful wooden shawl pins. I'm going to share it. Sorry, I can't multitask and talk and type at the same time. So she makes these shawl pins that are like a circle of wood, and then it has like a stick that goes through it, and they're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. She gave me a few for a prize for my yarn group photo contests that I have. I haven't had them for a while, but I used to do a cover photo contest every month in my yarn group, and she gave me 2 of them for prizes for 1 month, and I thought that was amazing. They're beautiful. She makes the prettiest shawl pins, and she also does yarn, so she has beautiful yarn as well. And she actually made me, for my birthday, she made me this cute little shrug out of some of the yarn that she has in her Etsy shop, and I love it. I'll show that to you guys sometime. But yeah, I'm gonna need a shawl pin. Yeah, you need one, Jane. I need one because I can't wear a shawl in my wheelchair and hold it, you know, how you hold your shawl. So I'm thinking that what I'll do is I'll probably wear it. I mean, it's not quite long enough yet, but I'll probably wear it kind of over my shoulders, and then, like, I don't have enough scarves on already, and then just kind of pin it off to one side here. So I want it to be big so it's nice and drapey, but I have to keep my forearms free because I do use my wheelchair, and I would hate for this to get stuck in the wheel. So I have to get a shawl pin. That's who I'm going to get one from because she makes the best shawl pins. She does like, so like the circle is I believe she does it by hand carved wood. And then the pin, she beads in different ways. And they're just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So it's Ethos Makes on Etsy. I'm plugging all my friends today, and like literally none of them are going to watch this. Just telling you guys all, like, get yourself a shawl pin. Actually, Allison might end up watching it, especially if I tell her that I gave her a shout out. But the 2 that she gave me, I was like, I did not want to give them to my prize, but I wanted to keep them for myself because I like them so much. But she's based in Canada, but she does ship to the US, and it's worth it. Her shawl pins are just glorious, and the yarn she has is beautiful. The shrug that she made me, I can't remember what the yarn is called, but it's this beautiful sea glass green color. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I wear it all the time. Yes, I definitely recommend checking her out. And she's like just so sweet. She's in my yarn group on Facebook. If you guys aren't in my yarn group on Facebook, it is Yarn Pals Sanctuary on Facebook. You're welcome to join. Actually, I will add a link. So you guys are going to get my typing face for a second, because I'm going to get the link for you guys. If you want to join and you're on Facebook, I haven't done them in a little while because people kind of lost interest, probably because it's not a super big group. But what I was doing is every month I was doing a cover photo contest, and everybody would submit a cover photo, and whoever won would get a prize. So there's the Facebook link if you want to join the group. There's rules, but mostly just no politics, no being mean. You know, and we also support each other. Like, there's a lot of people in there that are spoonies that have chronic health issues. And I try very hard to be very supportive of everybody in that group. So you guys are all welcome to be in that group. If you're not a crocheter and you want to hang out with me on Facebook, I do have other groups. So just shoot me an email and I'll let you know kind of what's available if you're not into crochet. I do have an herbal knowledge group. I have one that's called Vulva the Revolution, which is for women only and femme presenting people. So anybody that wants to join that one is welcome to. But that one does get a little raunchy, just FYI. The Yarn Pals Sanctuary is a very wholesome group. There's no shenanigans in there. Unless you're talking, like, Karen is in there and she's kind of a shenanigan all on her own. But for the most part, there's no shenanigans in there. I hope you sell some of your stitch markers. Make sure you do a post in the group, Jane, and then I'll make it into an announcement. So yeah, I think it would help you too. And especially if you want to just send me the link, actually, Jane, just message me the link for people to buy it, however you're doing that. And then I will make an announcement in the group. So yay, Deanne's going to be in our group. I'm so excited. You're going to love it, Deanne. It's awesome. I'm going to approve you right now. Okay, cool. You are in the group. Yeah, you're going to love it in there. Everybody's so nice. We have people that have just begun, some people that don't even crochet yet, but they're interested. And then we have people that have been knitting and crocheting for years, and it's open to all yarn crafters. So like if you do, what's it called, latch hooking or cross stitching, or if you just like fiber, like it's kind of for anybody. So if you know anybody that wants to join, just feel free to invite them. Yeah, pricing is kind of tricky, Jane. So basically what I would do is I would take whatever it costs you to make them, and then multiply that by 3. The reason being is because one of those is your time, one of them is the supplies, and then you also have to take into account shipping. So yeah, I can help you with that, Jane. Pricing is hard. It is really hard. There's, you know, formulas, but sometimes those formulas come out and make things seem really too expensive. So I tend to underprice my stuff, mostly because I'm just trying to help people. It drives my husband crazy. But yeah, I'll help you price them, Jane. Absolutely. And I will send you my extra shapers so you can make us some more of them. If I remember. Because we both know how great my memory is. It's not just that my memory is bad, it's that I have so many things to remember because I have 2 kids and a husband, and then I have my yarn group, and I have my Etsy, and I have my YouTube, and then I have I homeschool. So, and then I have my just herbalism in general that I'm doing. So it's a lot to remember. So I forget everything. And luckily, Jane, you haven't taken it personal. I give stuff away too. It drives my husband crazy. He is so over it. Like, he knows that it's just part of who I am, but at the same time, it's like we have to buy groceries. Like, hello? Until you get on disability, at least you have to charge for your stuff. But I figure if I send out the samples, you know, people like it enough that they'll want to buy it, because I don't want people to think I'm selling them something that's not going to work. So I like giving out samples. Oh, goodness. How long have I been on for, you guys? I don't even know. I don't even know. 1 hour and 6 minutes. Wow. That's pretty long for me. I can't remember the last time I was on that long. Maybe it was the last live, but who knows? I'll have to go here soon because I'm starting to lose my voice. Well, starting to. 66 minutes. Jane's timing me. Thanks, Jane. Yeah, it's been a little while. You know, it's been slightly longer than an hour, which is good because you have to, like, if you want to, not that I'm after monetizing my YouTube, that's not the goal, but if you want to monetize your YouTube, you have to get like a certain number of watch hours, and then you have to get, I think it's 1,000 subscribers or something, which I'm nowhere near because I'm not consistent enough. But I don't want to necessarily monetize. Oh, yay, Paula's going to join too. I don't necessarily want to monetize like everything on my channel, but what I'm hoping to do is that once I get to that point, to have an area that's paid to give herbalism lessons and to give crochet lessons and patterns and that sort of thing. It'd be like $2 a month or something, but this would still be here. I would still do all of this stuff. Let's see. You need to tell your doctor about oxygen chambers. My insurance won't cover it, Jane. So that's why I have this. This is my version of an oxygen chamber. It probably looks like I'm doing drugs or something. It's just oxygen, you guys. Oh, my nails are all broken. I broke, here, this hand looks good, except my thumb. They're just square. Well, here, I'll show you my broken hand too. I broke, just so you know, long nails and wheelchairs do not mix. You will break the crap out of your nails. I did them right before I went to Mesa Verde, and then yeah, I lost all my rhinestones like the first day. And then I think I broke this one. I'm not going to flip you guys off. I think I broke this one first. And then it was my thumb. And then it was my other thumb. And I just haven't fixed them yet because I'm lazy. I'm tired. But for those of you who don't know, I have recently started doing my own nails because I have, what's it called? Dermatillomania, where I pick my skin like compulsively. And when I wear fake nails that are nice and thick, I can't do that. So I've been keeping fake nails on, and my skin has done a lot better. I still pick, but not nearly as bad. So I've started doing these poly gel nails, and every time that I'm on here, Jane is always obsessed because she's adorable. She's always like, oh my gosh, let me see your nails, which I love, by the way. Thank you, Jane. Like, I appreciate that so much because I do work very hard on them. Although right now they are just, well, these ones don't look so bad, but yeah, you're breaking them all. Yeah, I like that color too. It's like an eggplant almost. It matches my yarn. Like, yeah, we definitely, before the end of May, we should definitely do that, Jane. Message me on Facebook and we will figure that out, because I think I can't do it tomorrow. I have doctor's appointments all day tomorrow, and then Wednesday's family movie night. Thursday, I'm going to see my grandma. I think I could do it Friday. I believe I could do it Friday. I'll double check right now while you guys are. Friday. I have nothing on Friday, Jane. We could do it on Friday. I'm going to add it in my calendar right now. So just message me. I don't know how to do all that. I know you do a thing on your channel where I can just pop on, so I'm fine with doing that. And I would love to share it on either Instagram or Facebook. But yeah, I would be happy to do that. So let's see, live stream with Jane. I kind of feel bad for my viewers when I'm doing a live, because it's like you guys just have to sit here and watch me like go all over the place. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing most of the time, honestly. There, I have it in there, Jane. So we'll do that Friday. You're probably going to have to remind me. I put it in my calendar, but that does not mean I'm going to remember. So remind me, because it only takes me a minute to get ready. Like, I just have to make sure that my hair is covered and that I have a shirt on and we're good to go. I hope that you guys appreciate that, at least on my channel, it's not like the over-polished, unattainable version of human. Like, you get a mess because that's what I am. Like, this is just me. I'm just your friendly neighborhood weirdo that can't remember anything and likes yarn, you know? We probably will both forget, Jane. I would not be surprised if we both... I mean, I did put it in the calendar, and I will ask my husband to remind me because he's great about that sort of thing. But Friday's the only day that I don't have something this week, so... Or actually, I think, yeah, Saturday I'm going to do a Stitch and Bitch with the Facebook group. So let's see. I think there you are. Member requests. Of course, now Facebook is acting a fool. There's Paula. All right, Paula, you're in the group. Approved. All right, my loves, I think I'm going to go because it's getting kind of late, and honestly, my voice does not have much left in it. So I'm going to go. Don't forget that you are all sacred, precious, beloved beings. I'm so happy that you exist. I'm so grateful that you spend your time here with me, rambling on with the nonsense. And, don't forget to wash your hands, wear your masks, be kind to yourselves and each other, drink water, and take care of yourself because you matter. You do. I'm going to go. It is like way past my bedtime. I appreciate so much that you guys are here. I'm so stoked to have you guys in the Facebook group. For those of you who are watching this later, please join me on Facebook. It's the Yarn Pal Sanctuary Facebook group. But yeah, I will leave my email in the description box once this post is no longer alive. And you guys are welcome to message me about whatever. All right, you guys, have a good night. I will see you in the next one. And now I just have to remember how to turn this off. So have a good night, you guys. Bye.